Hello, everybody, and welcome to loanofficerpodcast.com. We have Chelsea Gardner on the show today. Chelsea, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So, if you don't know Chelsea, I will do a brief intro, correct me on anything, but Chelsea is kind of like my go-to person for social media and what's happening in that world, and social media tied into the mortgage industry. So, Chelsea, thank you for taking your time and thank you for being on the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. So, to kick things off, like what are you seeing in the market right now working for loan officers when it comes to like media and marketing?
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, I see a ton of things kind of transpiring in the social media world, right? So, when you're on social media, what I'm seeing is a lot of changes towards more humanized content, right? People want to really get to know the human behind the brand and
Yep.
not just the brand itself. And I think where a lot of LOs mistakenly think about brand, they're like, oh, brands, right? You are your own brand, right? If you
Yes.
are a loan officer, you're your own brand. Like you are marketing yourself, even if you're with a company, even if you own your company, right? So, you own your company, you're still the face of your brand,
Yep.
and people want to get to know you. And so it's the same thing for loan officers. And that is like, it's a huge shift that I'm seeing in social world, right? You know for sure in the AI space how beneficial and how much AI has transformed over the past, I don't know, even what, 2 years? Not even. I don't even
Oh
know how
yeah.
old ChatGPT is. Like, not even two. I feel like they just had their first anniversary. Um, so the AI world has already transformed so much, but on the social side, we're kind of seeing that teeter back, like the pendulum swing back away from the AI space because so many people are like, I'm on social media for the human and the human
Right.
connection, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what people want. But I think there's a huge synergy, which is kind of what we were talking about before we popped on here, between how AI can work for you and then how social media can kind of maybe even streamline that process behind the scenes. So I know in the green room, I was kind of asking you, like, tell me what you do for LOs when it comes to AI. So I'd love to kind of maybe ask you again, like, because I think that conversation would feed into this so well. So tell me a little bit more about like how you're using ChatGPT for AI stuff, and then let's dive into, hey, let me kind of show you how you can streamline that on social.
I love it. That's amazing. So,
Yeah.
so, and this is also a very helpful conversation, I think, for anybody looking at a high level of like, where's my marketing going? Where are my customers going to come from? How do I
Yes.
put all this together when it's all moving so quickly? Because the AI and the social and the database calls and the referrals, it all ties together.
Yep.
And I see it as like a five-legged table, for for lack of a better
Right.
phrase. But like, yeah, I should say four because the table will fall off over if you don't have them all. But like, literally, it's so if what we do is we help loan officers get recommended by the large language models. So ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, we've got Oliver out in Florida, plus we've got we just ranked in San Diego. We've got another client of ours in Seattle. We've got like some major markets where we've been able to take loan officers from not being recommended by the large language models. And now when consumers are using large language models, to choose a real estate professional to work through a mortgage deal or to find information about a niche product like VA or reverse or whatever it is, we're helping get that loan officer recommended because search is dying.
Yeah.
Like Google search is way faster than we thought it would. So that's what we do. But Chelsea, in our research, in what we've found actually moves the needle to get our clients recommended in the AI agents, social media plays a huge part of it
Yeah.
because it used to be in Google's world, it was a nerd game of like
Mhm.
gaming the algorithm, knowing what it was looking for, putting information in the right sources, directing it to it, and like playing this cat and mouse game of like nerd versus nerd behind the scenes of like who's going to rank on Google, right?
Right. Yep.
Well, AI is smarter than that. It can legitimately identify a good brand. And a
Yeah.
good brand, and you can see it when you go into sources and you just go to ChatGPT and you're like, what mortgage lender should I work with, or what mortgage broker should I work with for a VA loan in insert in market? Go down to the bottom, click sources, and you're going to see Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. It goes and visits all of those places to build the authority for the loan officer that it recommends.
Yeah.
And so it all comes and ties together. You have to teach the AI that you're the expert by using it to do your job and to solve people's problems. But then you have to amplify that on the social side of things. It's like those two tools really come together.
Yeah. Yeah. And, when on social, obviously, if you Google yourself or your brand, what pulls, right? Your
Yeah,
Facebook page, your YouTube, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, like those pages pull. And so it's the same thing for these large language models. They're pulling that data and information because if you aren't anywhere digitally,
yep,
how are you ever going to show up anywhere when someone searches for you? And so, your socials, when you are thinking about posting online and being authentic, that's exactly what you're doing. You want to make sure that in the back of your mind, if you're like, oh, but I do all this work and I post and I get 10 views.
right,
Okay. But on the front end, if people are using search engines such as even Google with their AI or Claude or ChatGPT, and they're searching for loan officers in their area, you want to make sure that when they're searching all these pages that you are actually providing value and
that's right,
knowledge and what it is that you do, because these while these are so smart, they only know what you put into the systems, right?
that's
So
right,
if you're putting all of this information on Facebook and Instagram about I'm the expert when it comes to VA home loans, and let me tell you all about VA home loans, and here's how you qualify, and here's a client that I had, and let me tell you the process, that builds your authority not just on social, but like you said, it's going to build that authority when ChatGPT or Claude are searching for a loan officer in Tampa Bay, right?
yep.
And so that's what we're really seeing. And then obviously people want that more humanized connection. So sharing those stories on socials is what that's going to pull, and that's huge. Yeah, I agree with that.
Absolutely. And the funny thing about it is, so what we're seeing with AI is it's getting very good at picking the right lender for the right product. So the AI knows people so well, like it knows a veteran is going to need a VA loan. And so they can go on and just be like, find me a mortgage lender. The AI is smart enough to understand, like, this person is a veteran. So I'm going to go find a mortgage expert that is posting content and answering questions about VA loans. And that's
Yeah.
how you get recognized. So being a product expert on AI and on social media gets indexed for far longer than it does on social. So Chelsea,
Yeah.
one of the things that I hear all the time of people are like, well, I post it once and then it goes off into the ether and nobody ever sees it again, right?
Yeah.
The AI can go find that Instagram reel that you did about teaching, the top three things you need to know before you submit a VA loan application. It can pull that out from a year ago on your social channels and deliver it to somebody in an AI search at
Yeah.
that time. And you said something that I thought was brilliant. It was like, who's who's answering the questions and providing value in their content. So
Yep.
are you using that in your strategy with your clients of like, let's go find the most frequently asked questions and creating social content around that?
Yeah, so we kind of go through and look at, what are some of those frequently asked questions. We'll go through Claude, ChatGPT, we'll do Google searches, right? Answer the public, all sorts of different platforms, and we'll look at what are some of these questions, especially on our LOs that are very specialized in something. So, we've got several that are very specialized in VA, very specialized in USDA or jumbo. So we'll see like, okay, what are some of these questions around that? And then we build content around it.
Right. Yep.
And the biggest thing that we're seeing now, especially in the copy, is making sure that we're using like the SEO friendly search terms, right? So
Yep.
if we have a client in Florida, that we're actually putting Florida in
Right.
the copy, right? So again, making sure that that part is strong, even though like you said, a lot of people aren't probably reading these long captions, but guess what is? the search engines, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're definitely doing on our end is, hey, let's look at what these frequently asked questions are. And again, where are these frequently asked questions going? They're going into chat. People are going into ChatGPT and going, hey, I need to know what, da 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 about a VA home loan. And it's going to spit that information out and it could pull information from what you shared, you know?
Yep.
So it's definitely, I think people definitely have tunnel vision when it comes to social media and like, oh, well, I don't get engagement or I don't get likes or no one's following me. And it's like, okay, but on the flip side, right? The flip side
Yep.
of that is what is it doing for your visibility through everything else?
Yep. And
You
the
know?
way that I see it is, so you and I are both very good friends with the mortgage marketing animals and Carl and Jim and the entire team over
Yep.
there. And so they've got the daily success plan, making phone calls to the people that are the opportunity in the mortgage business.
Yep.
And what I'm seeing over and over and over again is when you're making those calls and you get to that point where somebody's like, okay, well, maybe, like
Hmm.
maybe, they've
Yeah.
made you've made the calls, you put the work in, and they're like, okay,
I'll
before
think
I
about it.
respond to this text, before I respond to this email, before I pick up the phone and send that first referral,
Yep.
let's go check it out.
Yep. What
And
are they doing?
what are they doing? And AI is, I believe, primary on that, but it directs to all your socials. Like
Yep.
that's where it's pulling the who is this person and should you trust them. And so you've also got this aspect of like the foundational referral based business that you have in a mortgage company is
Yes.
supported now with your AI presence and your social media, which is also what makes it important.
Yeah. Yeah. And kind of following up on the lead situation, right? So
Mhm.
the AI portion can bring in those leads, right?
Yep.
So you might be getting those leads coming in from Claude, ChatGPT, being searched, and then they're like, oh yeah, let me fill out this form. But then, like, let's say, like you said, they might not answer that first phone call or respond to
Yep.
that first text or get that email, or maybe they just filled it out and they were like, maybe, but now they just don't think about it anymore, right? So we do what we do a lot of, which is probably like our bread and butter, is targeted ads. And so what our clients will do is take those leads, for example, so they're prospects or, pre-approved and lookings, things like that. They take those leads, they give them to us, we upload them into Meta, and then we're retargeting those leads with information on that said client, right? So on the LO. So it could be reviews, it could be specific information on their VAs, whatever. But now this person that submitted a lead through Claude, ChatGPT, Google, they're now seeing you all of the time, 24/7, 365, every time they open their phone. Because people are scrolling on social media just every day, all day, right? So now every time they open Facebook or Instagram, they're seeing you. So now all of a sudden you make that third, fourth, fifth phone call and they answer the phone because they're like, I feel like I know this person now because I've seen their content and they must be good, right? Claude recommended them and now I'm seeing them everywhere. So
Yep.
that is one huge, like, I think cohesive benefit of the search part. And I think that's where a lot of, to be honest, I think that's where a lot of LOs disconnect is, okay, I'm getting all these leads, I'm making the phone call, but then it's just like, well, they don't answer the phone
Yep.
and then it just drops off, right?
Yep.
Or now they're in this like nurture sequence and that's it, right? So now maybe they get an email every month or every couple of weeks and that's it. And these
Yeah.
people, they need so many touch points now that, social media is an easy way to hit those touch points consistently with different information all of the time while you're still doing those calls and texts and emails and all of that. So that is one like huge synergy that I find between the LOs that are doing really, really well are the ones that are using all of the systems.
Yeah. Yeah. And so are you retargeting past customer databases and qualified real estate agents as well?
Yeah, yeah. So they'll, on top of any prospects, leads, things like that, we'll get past client lists, we'll get realtor lists. They can pull from model match places like that and send list thousands of realtors in their area, hundreds, whatever they prefer, and then target them as well. Yeah.
So
Yep.
you're in that conversation with those people. and using, so what's your favorite type of like content that you're showing those people? Is it Q&A? Is it straight brand? Is it a mix of all of it? Like, where do you
Yeah.
find you get results from?
So, a couple of things. One is we actually change out ad copy typically every week for clients. So, it's
Okay.
a constant change of content. And then obviously, kind of watching what works. So, a lot of times, what we find works really well for our clients is a review ad, storytelling ad, talking about like a client success story or sharing reviews. And if you bucket your past clients, your realtors, and your prospects all into that ad,
Yep.
normally, if you're good LO, normally what I see is your past clients engage with that ad and they're like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, Chris was the best, or we loved Chris. He got us into our first house. And guess what? Your prospects and those realtors are also seeing that engagement on that same
Yep.
ad. So we see that work really well. We've seen like webinars do really well, right? So if you're consistent with them, if you're looking to like try and get in front of people physically, webinar ads do really well. And then honestly, it's just more of that visibility game. It's sharing what you do, but also who you are, right? So even some of the best content that we have shares more about the human being themselves than just the programs they offer. But
Yep.
it's definitely one of those things, and I'm sure you run through it a lot. Is that the testing, right? Just constant testing and seeing what works best.
Yep, that's super helpful. So I'm gonna, if I may, take a little bit of a detour here
Okay, I love
because
detours.
I have been I've been pondering. I have an inkling, and dangerous, but I figured since I have you and you're the
Okay,
expert on this, I would love your opinion on it. So
okay,
um, I had a guy on the podcast, a rising star, like top 50 loan officer in the nation, and he told me this story, and I'm going to get these numbers wrong, but he took somewhere in the range of like 50 mortgage applications in like 2 hours. And he did
nice.
it inside a WhatsApp group. So
Okay,
he takes everybody that he meets, all his realtors, all of his past clients, he puts them all into a WhatsApp group and he sends one post a week. And it's like, here's a rate update and something fun I did with my family. And like, that's it. But
interesting.
rates dropped and he just went into this WhatsApp group that has
Yeah.
thousands of people in it and was like, rates dropped. Right now is the time to submit your application. And he was like, within 2 hours, just like ding, 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 ding. And so I listened to that and I was like, you are a genius, kind sir.
That is, yeah. That
Like
is next level.
amazing, right? Everybody should do that. But then I had this like click after the show was over, and I was like, wait a minute. In all of my AI research that I see in every marketplace, there's a Reddit thread and there's a Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
In every single piece of research that the AI is going in and reading the comments that people are leaving inside these Facebook groups.
Yep.
So being in the lender space and knowing what you know about social media, do you think that mortgage brokers and lenders should be taking the time to go into these groups in their local markets and like starting to produce content in those groups and answering questions? Like, do you feel that that's a valuable use of time? Or
Mm-hmm.
do you think it's better for them to just direct all their customers into that group and be like, when somebody asks for a real estate referral, just refer them to me?
Mm. So, two things. One, I 100% agree that you should be joining your local groups
Okay.
and that you should be active in them. That doesn't mean that you need to go in every single day and find stuff and post, but you should be getting into, pick three local groups, even one. Pick one, and
Yeah.
that's active. And go in there and make comments. Now, that's not to say go in there and start posting, I'm a loan officer, call me, like rates dropped, call me. It's literally just engaging in the group, right?
Yeah.
The more that you engage on social media, whether that's in Facebook groups or even commenting on realtor posts, realtor Instagrams, all of that, people start to see your name over and over again. And then they're like, who's this person? And they'll click on your page. They'll go to your page. They'll see who you are, right? If you start commenting on maybe a realtor's post in a group, right? Maybe they
Yep.
have an open house and they're posting it in the group. Those are perfect times to comment in those groups, right? oh my
Yep.
gosh, this looks like a beautiful home. Like I would love to would you be able to send me the link? Get them into your DM so you can have conversations with them. That's
Yes.
how I would use groups. Inviting inviting your past clients into them and having them refer, I think is a great concept. I think the reality of someone actually doing that is going to be very slim
Yep.
unless they just happen to see the post come across their feed. Those referrals are not actively going into that Facebook group daily, weekly, whatever to see, oh, is someone, is there a loan officer in the area, right? Same with me. Like if I see something fed into my news feed and I because I'm in LO, so I do see them frequently when they're in groups, I will post on it, but I'm not actively going into that group to look for posts like that.
Right. Yep. Makes total sense. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I think being being the mayor of your community and
Yes.
just being known within those places, I think is becoming far more important because the AI is looking for those organic moments and looking for the
Yep.
ones that are leaning in socially and online. So it
Yeah.
comes
And
together perfectly.
I think where some LOs get hung up too is, well, if they're licensed in multiple states, now what do I do? Right?
Right.
Now, how do I manage that locality? Because, well, I'm licensed in Florida, North Carolina, and Georgia and South Carolina, but it's like you still want to own like your localized
Yep.
market.
Hmm.
And if you start talking about, okay, well, I'm in Florida, and then all of a sudden I start talking about South Carolina all of the time, my algorithm, my socials, everything is going to get really confused. And
Yep.
so owning a localized market in my mind, it does not negate the fact that you can do loans in South Carolina, but it's going to just make you a much stronger brand and visibility and recognizability on social than trying to be like, oh yeah, I can do loans in all 50 states. And now inside of my caption, I'm writing all 50 states in there because I can, do loans there. Now, you should absolutely have where you can do loans in your bio or on your website. Like all of that stuff should be there. But localizing yourself into a market, I think, really just makes it stronger.
Yep, I could not agree more. And again, Chelsea, thank you for being so generous with your time. So, just so that I know and that listeners know, like first, like you run paid ads for people in the mortgage space.
Yep.
What else do you do to help loan officers?
Yeah, so we do targeted paid ads and we do organic social media content. So we basically kind of are the social media side of one's business. So we'll kind of take over all of that.
That's
Yep.
amazing. If people want more information or they want to connect with you, like how do people go and do that?
Yeah, they can find me on any social platform at Fully Aligned Marketing, or they can go to my website. So fullyalignedmarketing.com. We'll
Awesome.
get them anywhere with me.
Okay, cool. So fullyalignedmarketing.com.
Yep, you got it.
All right, that's awesome. Right on. Now, one question that I've really enjoyed asking recently on the podcast is what's next?
Hmm.
So, like, what do you see coming in the next year? It's like we're having a great market. What do you see as an area where loan officers, if they could pick just like one thing as it relates to social media and marketing, where do you think they should be putting their focus?
Targeted ads.
Nice.
I don't think that's ever going to go out of style. I think, the biggest thing is it's targeting exactly who they want to be seen by. And I think for LOs, that's the key, right? Like you can reach thousands of people on social media, but if they're not the right people, then it's irrelevant for you. And I think
Yes.
especially in the loan officer space, you have to be seen by the right people, and that's going to be through targeted ads. Like just plain and simple. And understanding the concept that targeted ads are more of a visibility piece of your marketing and not the lead generation piece of your marketing. I think that's a major differentiation between socials, right? Your leads that are coming from your search engines are going to be a lot more beneficial than leads that come in through socials. But those leads that come in through search engines still need to see you multiple times to convert, and that's where the targeted ads come in.
Yep, absolutely. It's just, it's a part of the funnel.
Yep. It's
it's
all
that
part of your little marketing. You can't have one piece of marketing and not the others, I feel. So, yep.
amazing. That's fantastic. Well, Chelsea, thank you so much for your
Thank you
time.
for
Thank you
having
for
me.
being on the show. Such
Yes.
a fantastic conversation. We'll have to do it again.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Chris.
Awesome. To all of our wonderful listeners, thank you for listening. We'll see you on the next episode. Don't forget to check out fullyalignedmarketing.com, and we will see you on the next episode.